Oh, didn't see you there, Tork Nation. Cheers. This Tork vlog is going to be a little different than most. It is my year in review, where I talk about the things that I watched, listened to, consumed, things that I really liked, things that I really didn't like this year. And it's just going to be a little different. It's going to be unscripted, but I have on my brand new iPad some notes for different things that I want to talk about. So if you see me looking down, that's me referring to my notes. There's going to be a few rankings, mostly about the movies I saw this year. Like with anything, it's subjective. And if you agree or disagree with me, that's a-okay. But without further ado, let's get into our year in Tork View. Alright, so I'm starting off my year in review with music. So there's a few things I wanted to talk about. On my Spotify Wrapped, I wound up having the song Murder on the Dance Floor show up. And I think Saltburn was a 2023 movie, but like late 2023. So like January and February was this like a thing. So Murder on the Dance Floor was a big one for me this year, even though it's an old song. Also, a big one for me this year was Chappell Roan, your favorite artist's favorite artist. Everyone had Chappell Roan on their Wrapped, that's for sure. Missing from my Wrapped was Brat. I did not listen to Brat a whole lot. I'm sorry. I did listen to the album the whole way through. I thought it was fine. It's just not for me. But I respect everyone who had a Brat summer. I had a demure fall, personally, so those two things just don't really mesh. But anyway, back to Chappell. My number one song by Chappell Roan this year was Good Luck Babe, which I thought it was going to be Red Wine Supernova. I remember exactly where I was when I heard Red Wine Supernova. I was in my college bar, and it was like a Tuesday, like a random night when like no one was there, and I started listening to it, and I was like, dang, this song's really freaking good. And we got to that bridge, you know what I'm talking about. Blew my mind. Absolutely blew my mind. But my number one Chappell Roan song was Good Luck Babe. I was sitting in a van, falling asleep, and it auto-played. And I was like, what? It got to the chorus, and I was like, I gotta restart this, like, from the start, and just really listen to this, because this is something special. And it really is, like, Chappell Roan, very amazing artist. I am so excited to see what she does next. Everyone wants her to do something with the Muppets. Me too. Also in my Wrapped was Sabrina Carpenter, shocking nobody. I love Sabrina Carpenter. She is lovely and just fun. Just fun. She brings a really nice aesthetic to the world of music that I really like. I'm not going to pretend like I'm a big music guy. I'm not, compared to other things that we'll talk about later. But I like Sabrina, and I like what she's doing for the industry. I had a lot of pop girlies on my Wrapped because of these two. Also on my Wrapped, Electric Light Orchestra, ELO. They're hitting it the big time. Specifically, and I know everyone knows Mr. Blue Sky, or even maybe Evil Woman, or just one of those songs. But I really like the song Wild West Hero. I was running a D&D campaign, and that song was really important to a character's development for my brain. And I was like, this song rocks. It's amazing. It's a really, really good song. I can't really place why I like it. I think it has a nice build-up. I think that's why I like it. The other one that I really love is Last Train to London, which I think was trending on TikTok for a little bit, mostly because it's a good song to walk to. So there was a lot of walking to that song, I guess. Anyway, I digress. Next up, I've got Geordie? I think it's Geordie. Geordie Greep. I got greeped this year. A lot of people got greeped this year, but they're not telling you. He's not showing up on anybody's Wrapped. He didn't show up on mine. Not at least in the top 5 or anywhere important. He's in the middle. Geordie Greep released this album called The New Sound. It released this year. And I'll be damned if it isn't the new sound. It's very interesting. I really loved it. There's like another one I discovered through TikTok. It was a trend for some reason. You've probably heard a song of his, either the first one on the album, which I believe is called Blues, or the one that I'm about to talk about called Holy Holy. Holy Holy, I think, is a masterpiece of a song and probably one of my favorite songs I listen to all year. Basically, the first half of this song is this guy, and he's all suave and smooth and seductive, and he's like, talking about how amazing he is, how everyone knows his name, and being a real womanizing freak. And then the second half of the song is all revealed that this is all his insecurities. He's like a toxic, masculine man who hires a sex worker to be his woman of the night. And it's like, people are like, oh, I don't like this song, you gotta listen to the lyrics. You need to listen a little harder, because this song isn't, it has a lot to say. I really recommend it. I really recommend the whole album, but Holy Holy, just like listen to that first. If you're not really into that, or if you're like, I don't know if I want to hear more of this, just pass, because it's a lot of stuff like this. He's very vulgar. I don't mind. I don't really care, but he's very vulgar, which is crazy for me, because it's just like, whoa, I can't play this music in front of my parents, but that's fine. I'm my own person. I have some honorable mentions here. Trixie Mattel's cover of Video Games, which I have been covering on my guitar, which I might post. I don't know. I'll talk about this later, but I have a New Year's resolution that has to do with music, and you'll see it, and you'll know when we get there. Trixie Mattel's Video Games, and a comedy song I really loved called Dim Sum Paradise, which I made TikToks to all at the beginning of the year. Dim Sum Paradise is a really catchy tune. Is fun. It made my top 6. I listened to it so much. But everything in my top 5 was from one artist. That's my top artist. Obviously, everyone who knows me knows what I'm going to say. This is Ghost, the band. I got really into them this year, and I'm going to talk a little bit more about how I got into them more this year in a later section. But for now, I'm going to talk about their music and talk about my top 5. I'm going to pull it up real quick. My top 5 is Kiss the Go-Goat from the album 7 Inches of Satanic Panic. The Future is a Foreign Land from Right Here, Right Now. Square Hammer from Meliora. Spillways from... what album is that? Impera, sorry. And my number 1 song was Rats from the album Prequel. And Prequel, I'm going to go ahead and say, is my album of the year. Didn't come out this year, but to me, it's my album of the year that I listen to the most. It's a really brooding, yet somehow still kind of poppy sounding rock album about life, death, and the plague. It's really fantastic. There's a lot of amazing songs on there. Dance Macabre is probably the one you're going to want to listen to. It's pretty easy on the ears. And Rats, which was my number 1 song of the year. And most importantly, my number 1 song ever, which came off of 7 Inches of Satanic Panic, which I'm shocked did not make my top 5, Mariana Cross, which I will always recommend to everybody because it's a very, very good song, and it makes me... it gives me chills. It's one of my favorite songs ever. It's beautiful. It's haunting. Go listen to it. Yeah, so that's really what I wanted to talk about with music this year. I didn't really want to rank anything because I don't know how to compare these. They're all so different. Plus, I'm not really as well versed in music, so I wouldn't feel right ranking them. It's still good. It's still very good. But I loved it. This was a great year for music, for me personally. I got to know a lot of music that I maybe wouldn't have before. Specifically, I'm thinking about like the pop stuff, Chapel, Sabrina, even Olivia Rodrigo to a little degree, a little lesser degree though. But it was a great year for music. But that's going to do it for the music section. We're going to move on to the next section now.
Movies.
Hello, Tork Nation, and welcome to the movie section of the year in Tork View. This section is going to be ranked, so you are going to hear about my movie opinions from worst of the year to best of the year. Now, I want to put a giant disclaimer on this section and say I dropped the ball this year. Like, my 2023 ranked, I had 30-something movies. This one, I only have 17, and a few of them are like comedy specials and shorts. And so I really dropped the ball this year. There are a lot of movies on here. Like I'm on my Letterboxd app right now. Like there are a lot of movies that came out this year that I just simply haven't seen. And just in the month of December, Nosferatu, Anora, Wicked, Juror Number 2. What's that other one that just came out that I was just thinking about? Complete Unknown, the new Sonic movie. All these, Gladiator 2. All these movies I really haven't seen this year. And I'm really kicking myself because this list is going to be short, and it's definitely going to change the more movies that I watch. And I think I will probably have a different ranking video out when the Oscars come around, ranking the Best Picture nominees, simply because I just don't think I did this justice this year. I don't think I did 2024 justice movie-wise. It's been a busy year, so I really can't complain. But let's complain a little bit, because we're going to start with last place, number 17. The Simpsons, May the 12th be with you. This is the worst thing I saw all year, and it is a 5-minute short. So it really, when you do worse as a 5-minute short than some feature-length movies I have up next, like, it's really bad. I love The Simpsons. I'm a huge Simpsons fan. Back on that shelf back there, you probably can't see it, but I have a bunch of DVDs of the seasons of The Simpsons, and there's Simpsons stuff all over my room. I love The Simpsons. I'm really sad what Disney is doing to The Simpsons, the same way I'm upset about what Disney is doing to The Muppets. It's really just when they use them, and it's just, I don't know, it was a 5-minute short about Mother's Day where Maggie was going out with Marge, and they went to Disney. And it was a bunch of Disney characters. Animation was terrible. The jokes were terrible. Everything about it was terrible. And it's like, just, I love The Simpsons. It's cool. It's been going on for 35 years, but pull the plug. We don't need to be doing this. Everything The Simpsons does is on Disney Plus, and they are meeting other Disney characters, and it's just, it hasn't been working. So why do you keep doing it? I don't want to even waste any more time on it, so I'm going to move on to number 16. Night Swim. I had AMC A-List at the beginning of the year, which pays for itself in just 2 trips to the theater. Wow, what a terrible movie. What an awful movie. I actually thought it was going to be at least cheap scares. Jump scares. Something fun. And it wasn't even that. It was a bad horror movie. Oh, so it must have been a funny horror movie. Not even. Just boring. There is, like, one redeeming quality about the movie, and that's it grew a running joke between me and my friends where we would say, we have a pool. And that's it. That's literally it. That's the only thing that I can take from this movie. Awful. I cannot believe I watched it. A huge waste of time. And that actually goes for a lot of movies that are on this list. Like this one and the next two are the trilogy of why did I watch this? Number 15, If, with John Krasinski and Steve Carell and Ryan Reynolds. Terrible. It feels like an AI generated movie. Like, not fun, not funny, didn't utilize the concept. Look at all the rich friends we have. If you listen to this cast. Ryan Reynolds, John Krasinski, Steve Carell, Phoebe Waller-Bridge, Alan Kim. That's the kid from theater camp. Bobby Moynihan. Where are all the super famous people? Awkwafina, Emily Blunt, George Clooney, Bradley Cooper, Matt Damon, Bill Hader, Richard Jenkins, Keegan-Michael Key, Sebastian Maniscalco, Christopher Maloney, Sam Rockwell, Maya Rudolph, Amy Schumer, Jon Stewart. I don't get it. How did you get all these people and make a terrible movie? It's awful. Genuinely awful. I would not recommend it to anybody. One of the worst movies I saw all year. What an absolute waste of time. And I knew it was a waste of time because I watched it with my family, who, they watch a lot of stuff, and they didn't even like it. They thought it was crap. Moving on to number 14, my most recent movie to add to this list, Red One. If you've seen a Marvel movie, or if you've seen what people think Marvel movies are, like those jokes where it's like, oh, that's right behind me, isn't he? You've seen this movie. You have. Every single plot point you can guess. I guarantee it. Chris Evans was fine. Nick Kroll was in it for a second. I didn't get what he was doing there. I like I will be honest, I want like 12 more of these movies. I want to see what the Easter Bunny looks like in the Red One world. I want to see what the Sandman looks like. And more importantly, I want to see what the Tooth Fairy looks like, and I hope he's still played by Dwayne The Rock Johnson. If The Rock actually had a sense of humor, which I don't think he does, he would do exactly that. He would play himself as the Tooth Fairy and just play it seriously. Don't waste your time. Just don't waste your time with this one. Number 13. Unlucky number 13 for unlucky movie number 13, Longlegs. That was this year. If you remember, Longlegs had a ridiculously successful marketing campaign. It was actually very effective and very scary. And I found out, well, it could be speculation, but if I remember correctly, Nick Cage was like, I don't want to be the marketing of this movie. Or the director was like, we don't want Nick Cage to be the main, like, thing about this movie. So we need to do something different with the marketing. And it wound up being amazing marketing, which drove people to the seats to a mediocre movie. A movie that really wanted to be Silence of the Lambs. In fact, when this movie was over, I went home and said, let's watch Silence of the Lambs. A way better movie. Stilted performances, a plot that doesn't make any sense. Another huge waste of time. A lot of these movies were huge wastes of time for me in the theaters. I didn't enjoy my time in the theaters this year a lot because I didn't go all that much, which is a bit of a bummer, and that really is on me. Moving on to number 12, I've got Deadpool and Wolverine, a movie I did see in the theaters by myself, and the story when I was at the theater, the people I was sitting next to were infinitely more entertaining than the movie was. That being said, I actually did have fun with this one. Dang it. I know, I don't want to admit it, but I did have a lot of fun with this one. I love Hugh Jackman. I love the Deadpool movies. I'm not going to lie. Like, I'm not going to sugarcoat it and be like, oh, it's below me. It's not. It makes me laugh, and I don't think I have to justify that. I think I just can say I like those movies. Deadpool and Wolverine, a fantastic killer to the MCU. Like, they're never going to have anything like that again. I mean, like, they've been trying to do stuff, and it's just not working. Deadpool seemed to be their safe bet, and it worked. So, maybe we'll see more R-rated movies in the future, Marvel movies. I doubt it. They're kind of spineless when it comes to that stuff. It's Disney. So, these next two entries I have are both stand-up specials that my friends recommended to me. Rory Scovel, Religion, Sex, and a Few Things in Between. I enjoyed it. I thought it was funny. It's a comedy special. I don't have much to say. Just watch it yourself. Stand-up Solutions, Connor O'Malley. This was an insane hour. It's number 10 on my list, which is crazy that it rounds out my top 10. That's how you know I didn't see a lot of movies this year. Connor O'Malley's really hit or miss with me. I love him in Joe Pera. There are a few of his sketches that I really love, but sometimes I think he's a little too much. This one hit. Look, Stand-Up Solutions was very good. It's free. It's an hour on YouTube. Very, very good. He has another movie, Rap World, that came out this year that all of my friends saw and I really missed out on. So I gotta watch that. I gotta see if that's any good. It probably is good. I mean, everyone loved it. It got better reviews than Stand-Up Solutions. So, and I like Stand-Up Solutions. So, great. Number 9 is my other most recent entry on this list, Beetlejuice, the sequel to Beetlejuice. And things that I liked, or things that I didn't like, just to get that out of the way. The first act felt really, really long because I think they had a lot of explaining to do because the distance between these two movies was very, very far. Which meant we had to explain a lot of things that I don't think really needed explaining. They explained away, spoiler alert, I guess, Barbara and Adam from the first movie. Just like Alec Baldwin and Gina Davis just aren't in the movie, which I'm fine with. Like, I kind of didn't think they were going to be, or if they were, it was going to be like a very like Avengers style. They walk in and it's like a huge deal. So I'm glad they didn't go that route. And they also couldn't have Charles Dietz in the movie because, well, just look it up. Look up what happened to the principal from Ferris Bueller. The way they worked around it though, fantastic, absolutely amazing. I thought that was really clever. But once it really got cooking, it really got cooking. Everyone looked like they had a great time making it, too. And, like, when they're having fun, we're having fun. Classic. I thought Jenna Ortega was just the cutest little spiritual successor to Winona Ryder. Just adorable. Her subplots were very fun. Catherine O'Hara is one of my favorite actresses. And she slayed me in every scene she was in. She's fantastic. But really, the star of the show, Michael Keaton. It's like he never left. He was just Beetlejuice right away. And Winona Ryder's boyfriend, the actor who played Winona Ryder's boyfriend, freaking hilarious. One of my favorite performances of the year. He was cracking me up. Everything he said, everything he did was really funny. Willem Dafoe is in this movie, and he's also hilarious. It just, like, looked like he was having fun, too. And the climax was amazing. I've been listening to the song that played the climax on repeat. It just kind of blew my mind. I just thought I was like, oh, they're doing this. They're doing this. And at first I was like, oh, it's an homage to the Deo scene in the original. It's not. It's very different, but it's very, very good. I would recommend this one. I had a lot of fun with this one, so I would recommend it. I do like Beetlejuice just as a franchise. I think I've liked everything I've watched of it, and I think I've seen everything, including the TV show. I loved it. It was very good. In 8th place, I have Inside Out 2, the sequel to Inside Out. It's just Inside Out again. But Inside Out is great. So it was quite fun. And I had a really good time with it. I don't have much to say. I don't have much to say at all. I loved Iowa Debris in it. I'm bummed Bill Hader wasn't in it. There were some great jokes, and it kind of reminded me that Pixar can still have the juice if they choose to. So let's just hope. They're making a movie about my favorite animal, beavers. It's called Hoppers or Hopper or something like that. I'm looking forward to that. That's going to be a lot of fun. I don't have much more to say. Number 7, Challengers. This was a popular one this year. Challengers with, who made that movie? Luca Guadagnino. Wow, I just completely butchered that, but it's okay. It was a popular one this year. I thought it was good. I liked the cinematography and I liked the performances. It was exactly everything I thought it was going to be and nothing like what I thought it was going to be at all. And I think Twitter really had a field day with this movie. I thought it was good. Obviously, it's high up on my list. I don't have a lot of movies, but it's high up on my list, and I don't know. I don't have much to say, so that's like pretty much, that tells you everything you need to hear. Number 6, I have Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes, which is hilarious that ranks higher. Just objectively, people are going to be like, are you kidding me? But it's my ranking, and you can disagree if you want. It's been a while since we've had a Planet of the Apes movie, but here we are. I love this movie. I love monkey movies. I do. I want to go see that Robbie Williams movie so soon. But I think I just love this movie because I like the franchise a lot. I believe in the franchise, and I find it very fun and very great, and me and my friends all really love it. So, not much more to say on this one either, except I did really like it. It's just a good movie all around. And the fact that there's, like, no humans in it pretty much at all is, like, high-key impressive. Like, Avatar had more humans in it than this monkey movie. You know, like, that's really impressive from a technical perspective. So, yeah, number 6, Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes. Number 5, I can't believe it's this high up here. But the more I sit with it, the more I love it. The Substance. Margaret Qualley. Oh my God. If she doesn't win a performance award for it, an Oscar, if you will. Demi Moore, Dennis Quaid. It was probably the most visceral movie I saw this year. It was definitely the movie that made me cringe. I was watching like this. And I like having experiences like that in the theater, and I love like when a horror movie can do that, especially when I only saw a few spooky movies this year, and they were bad. Night Swim and Longlegs, pretty much. So I needed a good horror movie, and The Substance was just fantastic. I think it does fall apart a little bit in the third act, but that's pretty much my only complaint. It's really gross. It's not for everybody. I freaking loved it, though. I was so into it. This was a really great movie, and it deserves to be in my top 5. Number 4, I have Twisters. It's a very commercial year for me. Usually I check out a lot of the Oscar movies, but I don't think a lot of these movies are going to be nominated at all. Twisters. I had a lot of fun with this one. Glenn Powell is like, I would say he's White Boy of the Year, but Timothée Chalamet exists. But Daisy Edgar Jones was great. I even liked Anthony Ramos, who I don't really like in much. And David Cornsweet is in this, and he is about to be Superman, which I'm really hyped for. That's one I can't wait to see in 2025. Me and my family have a really close connection to Twister. We just really love that movie. We've all seen it a lot. And this movie went the Top Gun route of legacy sequel, all new characters, da-da-da-da-da. The only recurring character was the Dorothy machine, which I think was really great and really clever. But other than that, it just told a really original story. It wasn't an original concept, of course. Storm chasing's been around for as long as whatever, but that's why Twister exists. But this is a new, modern take on it. You don't even have to have seen Twister to appreciate Twisters. And it was a really successful movie and probably one of the most popular summer blockbusters. I loved it. I had so much fun with it. It's like one of the only movies on here that I've rewatched a few times, and I quite enjoyed it. It just is a really great movie. I really had a good time with it. Now it comes time for my top 3, and you are going to be... You're going to be like, seriously? It's a little bit of a cop-out. Okay, actually, hold on one second. It's a little bit of a cop-out. I do own a copy of it on Blu-ray. This is right here, right now. The Ghost concert movie. It's like the Eras Tour, but for people who like rock music. Yes, it's this high up because it's my favorite band. Yes, it's the reason why I got super into the band this year. It was lovely. It was a very fun... It was my first ritual, which is what they call concerts. I'm going to go see them live this summer, which I'm very, very excited about. But realistically, this movie should not be up here. So if you want to think everything is shifted up one place, which would put Twisters at 3, The Substance at 4, Planet of the Apes at 5, that's fine. You can definitely do that. I just love the movie, and this is my own ranking, so here we go. Coming in at number 2, probably one of the most shocking high placements to me. I knew I was going to like it. I didn't think I was going to like it this much. This is Tatsuki Fujimoto's Look Back. Look Back, which is a one-shot manga written by the same guy who made Chainsaw Man. You can see my army of Pochitas on my bed back here. I love Chainsaw Man. It's my favorite thing. The manga is incredible. The anime is going to get better when the movie comes out. Movie trailer dropped. Very excited about that. But Look Back is a different thing created by the same creator, and it's a story about two girls who one's like extrovert, one's an introvert, and they create a manga together, and it kind of shows their life, and it is beautiful and heart-wrenching, and I saw it at a really pivotal time in this year for me. I needed it. I needed a movie like this. I cried in the theater. It was amazing. It's only 50 minutes. It's free on Amazon Prime. Seriously, if you take anything from this video, go watch Look Back. That's what I'm going to recommend. I don't want to give much away. I can't give much away. Just go see the movie. You will see why it's number 2. And number 1, shocking absolutely nobody. This was early in the year, but it stays being the best movie of the year that I've seen. Dune Part 2. Dune Part 2. I watched Dune Part 1 when it first came out and didn't get it. I didn't like it. I then rewatched Dune Part 1 in college and went, oh, I can go see Part 2 literally tomorrow. I need to see how the story continues. And seeing it all together, like, you can see why it's my number one movie of the year. Actually, I'm pausing again. A lot of the things in my room this year are actually influenced off of the movies and things that I enjoyed. This is the ornithopter from Dune. With just, Lady Jessica and different characters at Duncan, Idaho, and I think Paul and Chani are in the front here. But, yeah, these movies are... there are Generation Star Wars, whether you like it or not. I think so, at least. Holy shit, Dune Part 2. It makes my brain hurt how good a movie can be. Denis Villeneuve is incredible. Anytime anyone had anything to say about Dune Part 1, they were like, oh, well, Zendaya's only in it for 5 minutes. Oh, you're going to get your fill in this one. Anya Taylor-Joy is only in this one for 1 minute, and you're going to see a lot more of her in the next one that they make. But it is, I'm just, perusing Letterboxd right now, and literally every single person that I follow on here gave this movie 5 stars. There's maybe 2 4.5s. That's what we're working with here. I've seen this movie 4 times in theaters. It is... I'm gonna sneeze. Hold on. It is a brilliant film. I seriously had, the most fun with it. I watched it at noon on a random Tuesday and was like, I need to go see this right freaking now. And I did. I left and I bought the Lego set. And then I was like, I gotta go see it again. And then I saw it again 2 days later. It's the best movie. It's my generation Star Wars. That's why I bought the helicopter. That's why I'm so obsessed with the movie. Because I'm like, this is people are going to be watching this movie 30 years later and be like, is this, seriously? It feels like that. It feels very Lord of the Rings-esque to me as well. But yeah, I biffed it with movies this year. This list is goofy, seriously, but what I did see I really liked, and what I didn't see, I'm sure I'd also like. I don't know. I probably won't be updating my ranking in a video, but I will add to my Letterboxd when I've seen movies from this year. But that's going to do it for the movie segment, and I will see you in the next segment.
TV shows.
Hello, Tork Nation, and welcome to the television segment of my year in Tork View. Also unranked, simply because I just kind of wanted to talk about shows that I liked this year. It was a big year for TV shows for me. I got to catch up on a lot of things that I haven't seen before. I think I'm going to start with It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia. I started watching from season 1, which I'd never done before, and I watched consistently through about season 9. I like it. I like that show. It's funny, but my hot take train is coming in. I think it's okay, and that's it. I enjoy it for what it is, but I'm not a diehard fan like a lot of other people are, and I think I'm just going to have to be okay with that. There are going to be people who watch this who are going to strongly disagree, be like, you don't see it. Maybe I don't, but I enjoyed what I saw, but I don't have a strong desire to go back. It's fine, it's whatever. Also, I watched a lot of anime this year. Caught up on a lot of stuff that I hadn't seen before, starting with Attack on Titan. I cannot believe that was this year, that I watched that this year, because it feels like it's always been a part of me now, because I'm living in a world post-AOT. I think it's maybe one of the most brilliant pieces of media I've ever seen. It kept me asking questions. I just thought it was magnificent. I could not get enough of it. Every time I thought I had it figured out, they would always throw a curveball. They knew how to keep me on my toes. Ending a little bit, the same complaints most people have, but I freaking loved it. It was so good. And then I watched Evangelion, which I liked. I think maybe I gotta watch it again. I think maybe I just don't get it yet. But what I liked, I saw. I think I'm gonna watch it dubbed next time. I know. But I did watch it subbed. There's only 26 episodes in a movie, and it was good. Then I watched Death Note. Oh my god. I wish I had watched Death Note with my friends, because that would have been a show that we would have just not been able to put down. That being said, I couldn't put it down. It was just fucking fantastic. I really enjoyed it. The cat and mouse game. It was just a long episode of Tom and Jerry. It was so freaking good. Out of all of these shows, I think Death Note is the one I would recommend to people the most out of all these anime. And then I watched Dungeon Meshi, Delicious in Dungeon. I refuse to call it Delicious in Dungeon. I think that title just doesn't work. Dungeon Meshi sounds way better. I loved it. I really did. It's so good. That's another one I would recommend. It's only 24 episodes, and it's just a lovely show. Dungeon Meshi was a lot of fun. I watched a lot of Cheers. I picked a classic sitcom, and I ran with it. I've watched about 6 seasons of Cheers. Diane just left. It is just that show's like candy. I could do one more. It's just brilliant. I love Cheers. It's like a staple. And now there are so many references in so many other shows, like It's Always Sunny, like The Simpsons, that I get now because I've seen Cheers. I think everyone should at least watch a season. Maybe like season 4, when Woody joins, Woody Harrelson. I just think that makes the most sense. After Cheers, I watched a lot of Young Sheldon. I watched Young Sheldon with my dad. And I'd only seen episodes through TikTok where they had lasers on their eyes. I love that show. There is no denying that show's got the sauce. Better than Big Bang Theory. Looks better. Better jokes. Better characters. Overall, probably the highlight of my year was watching the penultimate episode. I cried a lot. It was amazing. It was just so good. Then I've been watching a lot of RuPaul's Drag Race with my mother. We're on our 6th season of the show, which is season 14 for us. We started on 9. Wait, that doesn't make sense. 5. That's our 5th season, I think. 6. It's our 6th season. I love that show too. It's a very sweet show. It's fucking cool, man. I have nothing but respect for those drag queens. It's the only reality show that I've watched really this year, besides 90 Day Fiancé, which I watch all the time, which everyone should watch. 90 Day Fiancé. That show is a fever dream. The last 2 shows I want to talk about are FX shows. Well, It's Always Sunny is also FX. First one I want to talk about is English Teacher. FX's English Teacher. It's only 8 episodes. It's on Hulu. I think it's the best comedy I saw all year. I hope it can beat The Bear at the Emmys. I think it deserves to. That being said, there's some recent controversy with Brian Jordan Alvarez, the creator and star, which just puts a sour taste in my mouth, but watch the show regardless. I think this is an instance where you can separate the art from the artist. Also, it's your discretion to separate the art from the artist. It's really up to you. I will personally choose to for this, because it is the funniest show I've seen all year. I've rewatched it 4 times. It's only 8 episodes. I seriously would recommend it to anybody. I just think it's a really brilliant show. It's really, really funny. And then finally, we watched What We Do in the Shadows, which I love. I will recommend to everybody, but I'm not going to spend a lot of time with, because I think I'm going to make a What We Do in the Shadows ranking video. A series of 6 videos that are not Tork vlogs. I'm still going to upload them to this channel. It's literally just going to be called What We Do in the Shadows Ranked. Season 1 through Season 6. And then the whole damn show I've got on my TV show tracking app, Serialized, which I think is also Tork129. Follow me there. You can find the lists of every season and the whole show ranked. I have ranked every episode of the show because I've watched through it more times than most shows. It is one of my top 5 favorite shows of all time, and I seriously would recommend it to anybody. I watched a lot of good TV this year. Just a lot of good TV. It was a good year for TV, and not a very good year for movies for me. It kind of fluctuates, so I think I'm going to be a movie guy again next year. Because I've been dropping the ball with a lot of these TV shows. I've been watching a lot of YouTube. But educational YouTube, documentary YouTube is very, very helpful. Defunct Land, for example, just released an animatronic video that's really fascinating. It's not TV or movies, but I think it fits here. So there you go, another recommendation. That's going to do it for the TV section, and I'll see you in the next bit of my year in Tork View.
Resolutions.
This is the final section of my year in Tork View. It's just life. How was my life this year? This was a long year. Graduated college, went through a serious breakup, have worked a lot, and have rebuilt myself as a person. I'm very proud of myself for realizing I needed to change and taking accountability and making those changes. I still have so much growing to do. This is only the beginning of my journey, which is why I'm so grateful I have these vlogs, because I can track my progress and track my journey and track who I am. Yeah, there's been some really great things about my year, though. I was on TV this year. I was in an episode of a television show. I graduated college. I'm an adult. I bought my first car. I got a bunch of professional acting jobs this year. My life is doing well, all things considered. I'm proud of myself. But I do have some New Year's resolutions that I do want to try and implement in my life. So in no particular order, I'm going to be more chill and demure this year. I'm going to try and avoid arguments and avoid being mean. Going to try giving myself and others grace and forgiveness easier and more often. I'm going to keep loving myself and figure out who I am. Going to work on my posture. Going to sit up straight. Going to keep going to the gym. And my final goal, which I want to achieve by 2025. So I can say in my 2025 year in Tork View, I did this. I want to record and make a song. That's what I want to do. One song. And I think it's going to be a cover song. I kind of have some ideas already, but I want to do that before the year is over. And I think I can do it. It's been a whirlwind. Also, 4 vlogs, which is nothing to sneeze at. And they're what I want them to be. You know, I'm very happy that people watch them. And I'm very happy that I get to make videos again. That's pretty much it. It's been great. I'm happy with how this year turned out. Even with all of the terrible parts, I was in the worst depression of my life this year. But I'm grateful for it because I can't have the highs without the lows. Tork Nation, thank you. Most importantly to you for keeping me sane. I love each and every one of you, and I don't even think that many people watch my videos, but if you do watch all the way, thank you. Thank you. They're for me, but they're also for you. And I think that's what's going to keep me going with this. So, thank you so much. I think you'll probably see this in the new year, but I'm not quite sure. It wouldn't be a Tork vlog if I didn't try and explain my thought process about how I'm going to make the video while I'm making the video. But Tork Nation, all I've got to say is 2025, stay vigilant. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you later.